Hello everyone, I'm Cibulot, and in today's video I'm gonna show you how you can solder the LED indicators on your Dolice EC PCB. This PCB comes unpopulated with 3 LED indicators: the caps lock, scroll lock, and num lock. The LEDs to be used are 3mm through-hole type LEDs. In this case, I'm gonna be using 2 red LEDs, one for the scroll lock and the other one for the num lock, and a blue LED. If you take a look at the LED, you'll notice that one leg is longer than the other. The longer leg is called anode, and the shorter one is called cathode. In case you are salvaging some LEDs, it is not a guarantee that you'll find the legs of different length. There's a trick that you can deploy to know which one is which. If you take a closer look at the LED itself, it's kind of hard to see without a macro lens now. You'll see that the anode has a smaller plate inside of the LED package, while the cathode has a bigger one. That's how you can recognize if the legs are different. On the PCB, on the front side, there's a marking that says which LED corresponds to what. And on the back, there are actually polarities, so plus and minus. The plus corresponds to the anode, and the minus corresponds to the cathode. Another way you can remember this is square pad for the shorter leg. Let's start to solder. I'm gonna start with the num lock. So checking the back, it says plus on the circle pad and minus on the square pad. So I'll put the longer leg inside of the plus and the shorter to the minus. Like this. Now you can hold it with one finger on the back, and you can bend ever so slightly the legs. That way the LED won't fall off. At this point, you can rest the PCB on a surface and check that the LED is straight. Now you grab your solder and your soldering iron. You first clean the tip, and remember to choose an appropriate temperature for the type of solder that you're using. Now, we put the tip of the soldering iron in contact with the pad and the leg of the LED at the same time. And now we bring the solder into the joint. Once the pad is completely surrounded by solder, you know that you have a good connection. It is also important to use high quality solder, and you know you have a good quality joint when the solder, once it's cooled down, has a mirror finish. If it is cloudy or has some black dots, it means that you either have a low quality solder, a badly cleaned soldering tip, or that you have a cold or damaged joint. So we have completed one solder now. And we can move on to the next one. We can now move to the other joint and complete the soldering job on this LED. Once you've completed the solder job, you can snap off the legs with a side cutter. Now we repeat the process for the remaining LEDs. In the case of the salvaged LED, you can clearly see now that the bottom is smaller than the top, so the top one is the minus. Once we've completed the solder job, we can test it. So let's plug in the PCB to our PC. And let's test caps lock, for example. As you can see, numlock is on, because on the system I have numlock turned on. And if I press the caps lock key, we can see that the LED is toggled. Thank you.